Well, everybody, this is a bit of a real treat for me. Two reasons. One, we get to speak to the man behind the brand SlurryKat, and we try to get inside his head and ask some questions. Two, we're going to go and take a look around what is the first time I've ever been to an R&D Innovation Centre purely based on slurry. Garth, what's all happening in here before we go inside?
So, just touching on the building here, everything we're standing on slurry, so we are. The building is tanks from one end to the other, and there's two 500 cubic metre tanks, 1,000 metres in total, which is about 220,000 gallons.
Because when we were here looking at your business a few years ago, this was literally just part of that process of building. I remember chatting to you back and forward, and you would say to me all the time, it's not easy because you're building a facility, but you're learning yourself and what you're doing. There's no blueprint to follow.
And we're still doing that.
Yes.
Every day we're still learning. And this was probably a vision 10, 12 years ago. Started to think about this as we were developing the product. How do we make this product better than what our experience is in the field? But we got the product to a certain stage and went, we need more data. We just need more than using it in the field to refine it. And that could be spreading, pumping, mixing. And that's mainly what this plant is, those three things, is the mixing of the slurry, the pumping of the slurry, and the spreading. And it was this concept come up, and I would say I'd love a building where I could put all this technology into, to have like a laboratory where we can test things, and we can basically provide this platform that we have today. Now, that took about 5 years of development and drawings. We had a lot of difficulty getting the planning permission for it, to be honest.
Yeah.
The joke was, we built a factory back in 2021, 6,000 square metres, and it went through no problem with the planning application. Big thing we had in here was the nutrient management plan. They couldn't understand. We're not producing any slurry here, so we take slurry from a local dairy farm, test it, use it, and then I put it onto my own land. So we do all the testing around the factory as well. So there's so much, the more we get into the project, there were so many things appeared that we weren't expecting. This, to my knowledge, there's not a facility globally that has the technology that we are building and continue to build. I'm not talking about the finished product, I'm talking about the testing technology.
Yeah, I understand that, and I'm absolutely buzzing and delighted that we're taking a wee walk through it, because I know it's something that's close to your heart, and but you want people to see what SlurryKat as a company is doing and reinvesting into the product that the people are buying. So, well, show us more. So I'm still standing in slurry.
You're still standing on slurry. You get a wee bit of the smell when you come in here.
So this is your tractor?
Yep.
280 horsepower?
280 horsepower, 200 kilowatt. So we wanted something that could put a bit of pressure on the equipment. We didn't want, there's no point coming in with, 120 kilowatt, 100 kilowatt. We wanted something with a bit of grunt in it behind it.
Will you take your biggest Dota pump that your contractor's buying, HD 35? What kind of horsepower is that designed for?
Look, it's a 250 horsepower pump, so it is. That's the sort of, but you start at 150. Depends on the bore of your hose, how far you're pumping. Slurry, there's a lot of variables, but generally, most contractors have a couple of hundred horse on it.
And they'd be working at, or that 250, and it should still be all right at 300 if they're...
She's still all right, yeah. Gearbox as well, oil-cooled gearbox on it, so it's well fit for that.
That's the perfect match for your HD 35.
Yes, it is, and it'll put that through. You'll see it here when we run it, let you see it going through. You'll be able to see the flow rate on the wall behind me, and we've got that pump nearly up to 400 cubic metres an hour.
Tell me now, as I scan around, top, middle and bottom, you've all these different sizes. So are you testing through your different sizes of piping as such?
Yeah. So top, middle and bottom, as you refer to it, it's good. You're absolutely right. So what we have is 3 lines which we connect onto on the outside. So we have a 4.5-inch line, a 6-inch line, and an 8-inch line. We want to know what, not just the outcome on one line, so we want to go on 3 different sizes to see the variables in that. And obviously, when we go to bigger flows, we need a bigger bore. So we designed this. What's the maximum flow rate we want to be able to achieve through this plant? And we said, we want about north of 750 cubic meters an hour flow rate, which is a serious flow rate.
Unbelievable.
The Dota HD45 will do that. So, well, the big Dota, but not at the high pressure of the 35. 35's high pressure flow up to, we call it 300, but we know it can do nearly 400. Obviously have losses after that in the umbilical system. So we have the 3 lanes. We have pressure sensor here, we have a dry matter sensor here, and then we have an acidity sensor which we haven't put in there. That has to have the end of it protected in a probe. So we actually have looked at variable, because you look at something like has a high sulfur content like digestate.
Yeah.
You need to know what the outcome is and the different, because there's so many variables. This plant is about getting data. That's totally what it's about.
So this plant, right, so in an absolute nutshell here, this plant is not just about testing equipment that you're trying to sell. This plant is about testing slurry as well, to understand the product, to help
and how
contractors and farmers.
How the product and the variations in the product, and how the product, because at the start of it, you take a tank, the start of it, the slurry is very different at the start to the end, and the pump performs very different at the start. But as the tank goes down, as your suction lift increases, it's deeper, the dry matter generally increases as the tank goes down.
So the very basics here, you're trying to understand the product of slurry to make your product at SlurryCat better for his product of selling his services, to get it right for the farmer, to get the absolute best out of a slurry.
And I have a contract.
I need to work on how I worded that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, you got it right. I am a contractor. All I ever wanted to be was a contractor from as a child, and that mentality is still within the company. That's one of the reasons SlurryCat is the success it is.
You rolled your first pipe in 1999, I think you told me.
That's right, yeah. It's one of those days.
I think that was a day that you wish you could forget.
Well, the joke is, I'll put it like this, it was a John Deere 6600 I was out spreading with, and first day out umbilical spreading, and I drove from the far side of Bombridge home in my boxer shorts.
Every man that does slurry does that, to be honest. But I'm glad he did it too. So how did you go from that negative experience? How did Garth bring himself out of that negative experience to be the contractor, to be SlurryCat, to building an R&D? Like what insane things go through your mind?
Well, the thing that night was, that's it, I'm quitting slurry spreading. I've had enough. It was one of those days where every coupling came off, every pipe blocked, any troubles the pump could have give. It couldn't get it primed. We did get it primed. We spread the yard full of slurry. We just made a complete mess. First day, total rookie, beginner's mess. And look, here we are today.
So you're testing all of these datas. What's your bigger picture here in doing that and understanding slurry? Are you talking about setting guys up with their nutrient management systems on their... Is that where you see the future here?
Yeah, totally. I mean, when you look at NIR, we've done a lot of work with John Deere.
Yeah.
The plant, you'll see the plates up here, up the top on the skateboards. That's where you can put NIR.
You can put your sensors on them. Yeah.
That's a very good product from John Deere. It's probably the market-leading product for nutrient analysis.
Currently.
It is.
Currently.
There's no doubt about that.
But everybody will come to
There is other companies that are coming.
Which is good.
And we have been approached by a lot of those companies to try the product. It's understanding that this is such a valuable nutrient on the farms.
But I know there's a test rig next door, but one of the things that I want to pick up on, you can do all of this here and you can have all of the information and you can work out that the slurry has got X amount of nitrogen, P and K and whatever. But if you're going around a field like this here, and when you do this here, it stops coming out up here and it all comes out down there.
Yeah.
Well, sure, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
but you've worked on solving that problem, which we're going to look at. But so this is all just loads of buttons.
So this is yeah. To be honest, this is probably the expensive bit of the plant. Mm-hmm. So all this hardware and infrastructure, which you see a lot of valves, we get a lot of data reading out from the sensors here, flow meters, turbidity, and your pressure. All comes together, but it needs captured on a PLC. So you can see we're quite individual things. So we have the screens either side where you can see an overview of the plant. You can see, which is this basically 3D model, which shows you the whole plant here.
Yeah, so
this is what basically we started with the design and we pulled it through. We got another company to pull that all together on the control side, because we're not a controls company. Yeah. We're becoming more of that type of company now. Yeah. In the last year, that's changed.
But do you think the understanding the actual product, as in the slurry product, the fact that the value of slurry itself as a nutrient, it was kind of disregarded. Back in 1999, it was a waste product you were getting rid of.
It was,
Whereas
just
now,
get rid of it.
Price of fertilizer, price of everything.
Yeah.
Sure, even fertilizer, even artificial fertilizer source. Look at the technology in them now.
Yeah.
So all you're trying to do is...
This needs to be the same mindset.
Yes.
The same mindset.
The ABC this, and this is really, really cool. Tractor, pump, slurry. He can pump it in through next door, and we're going to go in and look at what have you got set up for us?
We'll have a 12-meter dribble bar set up on hill simulation platform.
We'll go and see that. So this is an insight to the R&D aspect of slurry itself, which you can test. Next door is heading towards product testing.
So you'll see in here, similar to the front end, everything's customized. A lot of stainless steel for longevity, no corrosion. This is where we return back in, where laser sensors sensing the levels, so we can't overfill. So if one comes up, you can set the max level. It'll trigger the laser level sensor to shut the whole system down to save a flood. Looking at other things, maybe not related, but maybe an interest to some of your viewers, is basically that's replicating a huge tractor hydraulic system. Again, completely customized build. We'll have big 55 kilowatt motor here onto a pump, which is variable displacement. This pump is capable of 250 litres, and this is the key bit, at 250 bar pressure. It's easy to get pressure without flow, but it's very hard to get flow and pressure. We have 800 litres oil, again another customised stainless steel tank up the top here. And then we have a range of valves. We can send slurry right to the outside. We can connect on couplings here. You'll see we'll have 1.25 inch lanes, 1 inch lanes,
all flat face.
Heavy stuff built for heavy work. Even thing, we'll have a contamination monitor on the tank, oil cooling systems, so we're working it hard. So this was made for like submersible pumps, which we developed, or the turbo fills on the head, you know, the autofill, the turbo fill head on that. What we can do in this is we can basically overpressurize them and over revving and see what fails in the motors.
What seal you blow first?
Well, that's exactly, we actually, you know, a lot, well, that's what it is. Try and get it in a place where you don't cause anything.
Sometimes you have to destruct to understand. It's like reverse engineering. Sometimes you have to take it to that level to try and work out where it is, and then go and fix it.
Yeah, and the other thing we can do here, see like that Dota pump, we can put about 1,000 hours work on a pump in basically 6 weeks, so we can run that 24 hours a day if we want. So we can accelerate and basically get the information on how the product's going to wear very quickly without waiting a year or so. We can do that, you know, in a number of weeks.
Or asking a contractor down the road what his experience was after.
Yeah, well, that takes time to do that. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, there's no substitute for testing it on the ground, on the tractor, in a contracting situation, a farm situation. But there's things like that we can do that really accelerate wear and try and break things.
So this is your current 12 metre, so if I ring up and buy a 12 metre dribble bar, this is what I'm getting. This isn't in it, there's nothing fancy dancy about this one. This is an off the shelf fish.
There is probably the main things in this which are different that we're running the test on at the minute is inside the macerator. The housing of the macerator is the same, but everything inside it's different.
But bring this back to your average viewer watching. This is still a new. You're making maybe already. This is a new kind of macerator for you, really, within the not too distant past.
That's
if that
right.
makes any
That's
sense.
Right. No, it does.
So
yeah.
this is obviously the next change potentially is in here.
So I'll just pick up on that. Yeah, no, because it's a good point. We were traditionally another German manufacturer using from we started making dribble bars in 2007. Basically, they weren't performing well, so we set about. We need to change that. There was other manufacturers in the market were making good macerators. But what I saw the problem with those, some of the other ones in the market was distribution and consistency. And some of the tests we have done on this rig in this plant, we see 5 times more in some parts of the dribble bar than other parts, particularly at the ends. And look, this isn't about talking about making anything negative out of anybody else, but it's that information. So fast forward, 2016, I says, right, I need to start doing something for myself. We had loads of problems. We had loads of things didn't work right.
On your older style,
on my
dribble
older
bar,
style,
which was much more up, coming down in the. I call it the big triangle.
Yeah. And obviously weight, fuel consumption, weight of soil compaction that goes along with that. But we talked to Alrina, and they were starting to manufacture, because they were using the same macerator I was using. And I said, that's okay, it'll probably work in the Dutch market or the German market. You know, they're usually doing biogas digestate, very clean. You don't get cow tails, hoof, hoof block, it's dry cow tubes, all the things you get in slurry.
Bale netting.
You name it, it goes in the tank or the lagoon. So we started off basically in a very subtle way. Before this plant was built, contracting ourselves, and we started testing them. And we just we saw the problems, and we kept changing. And then we came to 2022, which is what you referred to as recently, and we had what I would call was a pretty good macerator. We put it on some customer's product. We didn't say anything to them, just said, and then somebody said, that macerator looks different. And I'm like, yep, try it, work away. The results were phenomenal. What we found were good performance, good work on the hills, but the main thing, the people weren't interested in the distribution. They just weren't in it blocking it. Chopping and performance were the number one things, because those are the things that give trouble. So we're already refining this product further than what we were 4 years ago. We've 3,000 units in the field now. I'm not saying they're unblockable.
Nothing is.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not standing here saying that. But I'm pretty confident that if we put them all on the same slurry, on the same farm, on the same day, mine will still be spreading when all the rest of them have stopped.
That's confidence. It does look a little bit maybe more awkward than some others that I've seen too, unblocked, but then firsthand I have been told by local contractor that we have filmed and spent a good bit of time with, there's a 15-metre version, you're just not in there. I think the slurry that those guys do, well, I don't know anyone else that does more.
Big variety. Huge variety.
You know.
Yeah,
so,
and that was a lot of, because I would ask contractors, what do you want out of a macerator? And some of the other manufacturers made a big play on big inspection hatch. Huge big inspection hatch.
Which has its positive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I went, okay, I need to go back a stage. Why do you need the big inspection hatch? Because you obviously need to get in to unblock it. So I'm going, we're going to have a small inspection hatch because we're not going to be in there very often. And that's the concept where we come up. Very compact macerator.
Yeah.
Small inspection hatch. You've just said they got one of the very first units.
Yeah.
And I think the feedback was they did about 500,000 cubic meters on a set of wear parts, which is completely unheard of. And didn't matter the slurry, didn't matter the situation, we were never in it.
Your dribble bar, so the old days of the heavier, I call it the big triangle down, they're long gone. You've sleeked up the design, you've lightened up the design. Pretty much all products in the market now have headed down this route of a lighter.
Yeah, lighter, vertical folding.
100%,
yeah.
And it's a booming market. So how have you stayed at that leader position with this range of dribble bar, and you're going right up to 24 meters now?
We probably we're a wee bit behind on the development and the basically coming to the market with that newer type, you call it industry standard range. We did get a bit distracted with tankers, but I'm happy to say, in my opinion, we have the best tanker product on the market. Not just in Northern Ireland, Ireland and the UK.
But you had to do a bit of learning there too. Oh. Let's just be honest. You told me that.
There was no perfections, Garth, at all. And we always joke here, our competitors know all our problems because that's their sales pitch. And we have got things wrong in the tankers. And like we had a bad batch of axles in 2017, 2018.
It hurt.
It hurt.
Yeah, it hurt.
We replaced every one of them, and some of them didn't fail for 4 or 5 years. But look, what can I say? We've made those mistakes. A lot of the engineering we did add to the product was inside it. Changed the baffles, changed anti-surge baffles, it stops the liquid moving. But then you're faced with the challenge. We're trying to make this product lighter. We want the lightest tanker on the market. Yeah. We don't want to add more steel in, so we brought that more into, that's where the engineering comes out, and the engineering comes out in all this product.
Yeah.
And that's why our dribble bar range is the lightest one. It's the most compact folding. One of the things you'll notice, our product in the transport position is very inverted. The two booms more or less touch, because we know from having the ones that sit straight up, there's always that big oak tree sitting, and you're coming home late at night, and there's always, or down a laneway where you're watching inside a gap or something, there's always a tree, and that's the experience. We know that from using.
I did it with Moores a few years ago. I ended up getting stitched up in the hospital that same very evening. But we'll not get into that.
Yeah. And we've done it in Moores too. Yeah. Cut Moores, bent them, bent the frames.
Right. So back to business. I'm not going to ask you too much on your test rig because that's, as you said, there's a lot of IP. But the purpose here is to test the flow right to point on hill simulation.
So two main things are distribution of the macerator, and that comes from the parts inside the macerator, the screens, the position of the macerator, the height of the macerator. There's a lot of different things that affect that. But as you also say, Scandinavia, we do a lot of stuff in Norway. The ground stood in its end. But we found the early models of this new macerator that they were okay if you had a lot of flow. If you're only out 800,000 metres, good thin slurry, you're pushing plenty of flow at the dribble bar, didn't have an issue. When you go out 3 kilometres and your flow's down 90, 100 cubic metres, go on the slope, your hose is at the high side, so naturally you're fighting against the gravity. And we went, how do we engineer that out of it? And even what we found, we can go out into the field, put a machine out, looks like it's doing such a lovely, tidy job, but the differences can be quite different across the width of the boom, even on the level.
Which, with all due respect, does away with everything we talked about in there if we're not putting on an even spread.
That's right. The crop will show, well, it's grass or wheat or whatever that may be, the crop will show you that straight away.
Yeah.
And our biggest challenge and our biggest innovation was probably in the last year with the 24 metres. And I mean, we wanted a 24 metre built on this platform. When I say the platform, I'm talking about the 12 metre platform. It was the same height folded up. And we obviously knew we were going to have to add more steel to get the width. But we only went from 1.1 tonne to 1.85.
When you compare that to some of the, I'm going to say the European 24 metre dribble bars that you see, there's a lot.
4 tonne.
There's a lot of weight.
It's average.
But 1.8 tonne, 24 metres, my brain says, how does that work without falling apart? It's a lot of dribble bar.
And that was the challenge. The success has blown me away of the product.
And you've had a lot of demand for that. You said you've sold away more than you ever expected to sell.
I have sold 3 to 4 times more
than you budgeted.
Than I had anticipated, and we also have a lot on order. But you see, even the dribble bar that's going out today compared to the ones that went out last year, massively different. And we are going to, over this summer period, we're going to do an upgrade program on all the ones that are on the market, because I think it's only fair.
Like a John Deere PIP.
PIP, product improvement program.
Yes, mate.
Yep, we love a good PIP, don't we? We all love a good PIP.
You'll not be a John Deere customer without hearing the PIP word. But I like that. That's a good thing.
So, and that's just how we're coming more professional company.
Yeah.
From what we feel in County Armagh here, we're shifting that mindset where we are going to customers, and we do say to them, look, you're buying the first one of this, or whatever. There will be product improvements coming, but we're going to upgrade them in due course.
Well, can we run this?
We can, yeah.
Is it a big job to fire it up?
No, we can get it running, yeah. There'll be a bit of noise. So there
No, but I think we need to see it running, and then there's something in the corner I spy, but I think we'll finish off around it because I might get on one knee and do a bit of groveling, a bit of begging. So if we can run this and give us an idea how it works, and you just talk me around what's happening, I think that would be class. So this particular dribble bar up in this test rig, it's not just one you set up for us. This is one that you're working on.
No, this is one that's an actual project.
So when you're doing this here, then you're looking to make sure you've got a bit of flow at the outside. Yeah. So when you see it, if you don't get that flow at the outside, then you know there's a bit of a.
Before this here, we didn't really. I mean, we could go to the field and test, but now we can get the actual hard data.
4-inch holes, 5-inch holes, 6-inch holes, all makes a difference.
Yeah, all makes a difference. But everything has it's a horses for courses.
So we'll leave the umbilical. It most certainly was your bread and butter when you really started this business. It was all umbilical. You've now grew this business to a massive part of it, and possibly an even bigger part in the future. Your tankers. You've now moved on to this elite. Have I got this right now? Keep me right.
No, you're spot on.
Is this needed? Are we ready for this yet? Or is this back to the vision of SlurryCat of being the best of the best of the best? And because this is a tanker absolutely laden with technology. So I think we need to go and look around this technology, but is it needed? Is it needed, Garth?
The answer is, I firmly believe it is. Yet, and that's a good question. Yet, we had customers come and ask us, Garth, will you do something just a wee bit beyond what you're doing? People are wanting some of the export markets put big heavy injector on the back, disc injector. They're going more for a cultivator.
But you had a linkage on your.
I did, but that's designed more for a trailing shoe. So it is take up probably a 15-meter trailing shoe.
It's here. I not going to lie to you, I covered every inch of this at Lama before the show even started. On my own, right? So okay, I see the difference. This is a lot beefier.
So
who wants this?
This is basically the contractor that wants to put a big multi-disc on the back of her. You know, your rows of discs inverted, a lot of drag with it, and they want to go directly on the stubble. Cultivate.
So what was the current offer, and you think maybe just not heavy enough for that job? It's more for like your dribble bar.
Yeah, those cultivators are typically 3 to 4 tons. Then you have the ballast effect because they sit 3 meters out behind. Yeah. So they feel more like 6 tons on the back. Then you have a chassis. Forget about the linkage. You have a chassis, and then you have the pure bag axle, which
takes the real strain of it.
And as you know, axles is something we take very seriously now on our previous experiences. We said, right, well, we can't adapt the current premium range. I think we need to go something completely new.
So you haven't just bolted on a heavier linkage?
This product is completely different. Chassis, everything about this product is completely different. But we needed something that had a bit of muscle about it. We have to change the running gear, have to change the whole balance of the tank, because you have to remember when you put this weight on the back, it's completely different balance on the tanker. Entry-level tires now are 750, 26.5. We can go bigger than what you saw outside.
Now the tanker's sitting out there 900s.
900.
She's for Iceland.
She is, yeah.
That's the export market. Now, why the 50p piece mudguards?
Just wanted to be something different. It's a good question. Just wanted to be something different, stealthy.
It's all straight lines now. We can't make a straight line tanker, but it's all straight lines now. Look at all the premium manufacturers. They've all went away. They were straight lines years ago. They went curves. They're all coming back to that. So what else have you changed?
So the chassis is completely different. We've also reduced the height of the tanker because we're going bigger tires as standard. So naturally, it's further off the ground. The chassis is different in the sense the back of it have a whole wraparound rear plate here, where the linkage is, if you notice, the linkage is in under the rear of the tanker, rather than our previous one where we're further out. We wanted to get the lift point as close to the linkage. So we have category 4 linkage, 4-point high level, and we can go 3-point as well. But we had to start with a chassis, and the whole organisation of that with the wheels, with the recesses, is a big engineering challenge to pull it all together and then put your suspension and running gear. A lot of people have asked us, why did you not go hydraulic suspension? Simple answer to that is we did so much development of this current mechanical suspension on the premium range. It's been so good, so smooth. I'll challenge anyone with even our premium range to take our mechanical suspension that's smoother and more stable than a hydraulic suspension that you would see, which would be a more European spec, as you referred to it.
It would
as.
be, yeah.
You know, there's a few of the brands, and they only offer hydraulic suspension, but we've done so much refinement with the suspension over the years. It's just took it to a different level. And the constant feedback is, Garth, you can throw them in there around about 50k, big roundabout.
Do that at home, kids.
No, don't do this at home. But that's the feedback we get.
Yeah.
This is a pre-production unit. You see, we did a very soft launch at Lama. We are over the summer going to do more focus on this product, but we did a soft launch because we're very busy and we're thinking of 27 onwards. So we are, but we wanted to get it out there to get people to sow the seeds in people's minds and
sort of maybe getting orders by the back end of the year and looking.
We
at
have
next year,
a number of provisional orders.
Yeah.
Now I haven't give delivery dates on those as well, and I said there's going to be some changes and tweaks as we go on, but similar to the 24 metre, we're going to upgrade those as we go forward.
ISOBUS.
Yep.
Inside. What do you need ISOBUS in a tanker for? Like, that's a bit mad.
ISOBUS is where the industry's going. It's a standard that was developed for agriculture and machinery. When you get into ISOBUS, it's such a fantastic product. It has a cost to it, but my acquisition last year, which is another...
Probably a completely separate
completely
video.
separate. My main reason was to bring that as a standard offering into all our product range.
If we go round to the front of the tanker, what's this ISOBUS doing for me?
This ISOBUS
How's it making my life easier?
It's completely making the product and the user join together in a very simple way. It's making it much more user-friendly. We didn't have auxiliary new, which is AUX-N before. We now have developed that in the last 6 months, which we're bringing under standard ISOBUS systems. But it's basically, you'll be able to plug the product in. You have pressure, return line, and signal line on your hydraulics. That's it. And you can then just plug your ISOBUS plug in and go to the field. Everything will be controlled. You can configure any part of it, from the steering, autofill, valves, headland turns. You can bring those all onto, well, you have a John Deere, a Fendt, a New Holland, one button on the joystick. It'll control the whole machine. Go to the headland. You can close the valve, lift the dribble bar, trailing shoe injector, what may be on it. You can put the steering axle in the float for the headland turn. You can knock the PTO off, the all be done on the tractor. There's so much configuration you can do, and it's just to make it that easy operational interface. And the interface is so important for us, and that's where our development is.
And you have
Did that make sense?
And you have the guys on it.
Yeah, well, it's not external. It's in here, inside SlurryCat.
And that is the big thing to touch on, as a completely separate video. You know, if people are enjoying this walk around, you have acquired the business now, and the guys with the expertise, and they are over there with their software irons. Shouldn't say it like that. That's just that they are literally there. And the advances in flow meters and your testing, I've seen it the last day to a quick run round, and then this is the current big buzzword about here, ISOBUS that I'm seeing.
We are intending to heavily subsidise it into our product in the next 2 to 3 years. And what I mean by that is there's a cost to it that you have to buy the technology, but we are going to bring that into our product with very little extra cost in it because I want people to embrace it.
So this is your new turbo fill?
Yes.
The benefit of this turbo fill is it will outperform two pipes.
10 cube a minute, 8 inch.
Aye, so you know the way guys go out with their two side and they stick their two pipes on your 4000, they pump them. Yeah. This will outperform that, I think.
So you have your docking pod, new docking pod, which were developed last year. It's lighter. You see there, you click it up in, pull up, hit the button, put it down, fill, 10 cube a minute. This is an 18 cube tank. You're away in under 2 minutes. 4,000 gallon without getting your bum off the seat.
I like that idea now.
Standard you'll see is the hydraulic drawbar suspension and height adjustment.
What do you need that for?
So if you're filling down the hill, say you're filling down the hill,
Yep, you're not getting
vacuum tankers, obviously the ball will float, so you can raise the front of the tank up.
Obviously, if you're in the field, I get the grip purposes of it.
Yeah, so you can again push the drawbar down, lift the front of the tank, puts the weight in your back axle,
Yeah.
and it lifts it off, and it puts more weight on the hitch of your tractor. So that's the traction point. But we also have 2 settings inside that. You have a hard suspension and a soft suspension. So we basically have different pressure. So you hit a big bump, that'll allow it to travel more. But then you have your small bumps as you're going along. That'll allow a bit of movement, probably less than an inch in the cylinder when you're moving. But we are going to make that completely customizable, where you can adjust the suspension settings.
Empty, full.
Yeah.
It's all makes differences.
Yeah. And that'll be sensed automatically. But again, only possible with an ISOBUS system.
Okay.
So it's taking that human input out of it. There's one other thing we need to talk about at the front here. Is this new filtration and silencer system.
Is that massively different?
It is. You notice there's no overflow trap on the tanker on its own.
Yeah.
Which you see in all our premium range. This is the galvanized canister with a pressure gauge in the top. So it basically catches, there's a ball inside, catches the slurry, and then you meant to drain it every day. Some people, I know, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Often doing that every day.
No, it doesn't. Have you opened your trap? No, you meant to do that.
Is that what that red handle's for? All right. Okay.
One request we had, a lot of our customers draw out of food processing plants.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
That
yeah.
are ice cream production, cheese, dairy production, and they're drawing waste out of those, and they all set the stuff on the ground where we're filling. It's like the splatter out of the pump, which is the oil, because it's a wet vane vacuum pump, so it naturally puts the oil in it for keeping it lubricated. So we thought, how can we get that trap, an oil catcher and a silencer all together into the one component?
So there's going to be no big circle of half burnt, half messy looking oil at the end of the day
That's right.
anymore.
So we'll have the trap as normal integrated into it. We're always trying, from an environmental point of view, we're always trying to reduce noise. We needed a solution, but the tank was becoming very cluttered on the front. Just too many things. We have a silencer, you have your overflow trap, and then we had the oil to try and catch that as well. So basically we'll have it all integrated into one. You'll see there's 2 outlets on it there. One's for your slurry, and the other one is for your oil. There's lots of wee nuggets of engineering on this whole tank. Like the chassis, you see the front half of the chassis is completely inverted and narrowed, brought in narrower. And you also notice where the drawbar pulls from. If you look at a premium outside, how much more the drawbar is tucked up in snugly and under the tank. That's allowed us to get the overall height of the tank down. And where the advance we've made, this is in 750 26.5s. We are now no higher with an overhead boom than we used to be on the 710s, which are about 6 inches lower.
Well, what's the plan with this tanker? Because are you wanting people to see it, or are you wanting to just look at it in the shed here?
Well, no. Usually only guys see it in the shed here.
I have an idea.
Right, okay.
I know from talking to you on a personal basis away from business, you share a lot of my thoughts on promoting mental health and talking about mental health and encouraging mental health. And
It's really important.
I think a tanker, something like this here, coming with a new product, something that you're not overly stressed about just yet because you're staying very focused on other aspects of the business, but it's a product that you're tweaking ISOBUS. Your R&D shed. But I was thinking, should we take it out to a few people, let a few people see it? Maybe we could do something alongside you, and I'd love to see a little bit of a nice message up there, promoting a bit of mental health awareness, share the load, or it's okay to not be okay, or something like that. And she's Grassmen grey already. She's my favourite colour.
I think that for me, the message is more important than the tanker.
I just want to play the tanker, all right? No, I'm joking. Anyway,
I don't blame you.
We should do something like that there, but will we do something? What do you think?
Of course. And The message is so important. It is so important.
I think it is, because I believe that I don't care how successful you've been in life. I don't care how much money you've made or how little money you've made or whatever. I often say to people, if this bit isn't right, you may as well have nothing. And I think everybody goes through periods of their life. So I think it's nice that we can open up and talk about it. But anyway, I think we'll do something. Thank you very much
for
time. Giving us
a pleasure.
a look in around, this, because this is really, this bit's your baby. You love this side of it, and seeing what you're at, what you're changing, and being so open, not having the perfect dribble bar on the test rig simply because you're trying different screens and so on. That's what we're doing, and I think that's fantastic.
But you can see that we're not perfect. People sometimes have us that, we're perfect. No, we do make mistakes, but we're always trying to be better in the background, Garth.
And I think I'd love to get away with the tanker, work with ISOBUS, have a go with it, do something, a bit of fun, and then come back and try and really, if we could make another video into it, because it's too much for now, because there's too much, we've talked about too much already.
Yeah.
But that's another side to it, and I'd love to do an updated look around the factory. I think we'll do that as well going forward, because that's 5 odd years, I think, since we looked. And I was blown away by the change in those 5 years. Yeah. You look at that, the improvements to the finishing lines, the improvements to
shop blasting, it's massively different. Tube lasering, cleaning the parts. Yeah.
So I'll send these boys round and get a lot of footage, and I think I need a cup of tea for that. Was a lot of talking we did there. Man, we'll go. So thanks everybody, and remember, it's okay to not be okay.